Hi. So I know you guys are wondering, where is my 911 video? And here it is. Okay, so this is for 911 season 5 episode 9. Past is prologue. So the episode started off with this lady. She was going out for the driving test part of her driver's license. So of course she's nervous, and so the instructor says turn right. She keeps going because she's very nervous. And so then the instructor started writing stuff down, and she was like, what are you writing? What are you writing? She was very nervous. And so you know they go all the way around. She drives, and then they go back to the place. Well, as soon as they get back to the place, all of a sudden there was like this gush of oil come out of the ground, and the car slid down. And right, so like the street must have caved some, and the car slid down some. So now oil is going everywhere, and the instructor from the impact, the pin was stuck in her chest. So they called 911, and of course, May is asking questions. Can she breathe? Is she alert? That kind of stuff. And she was like, well, do you hear anything? Lean in closer. Do you hear anything? Whatever, and she told, about the pin stuck in her chest and blah, blah, blah. So Bobby them is on the way, and finally they make it, but they trying to make sure that the car don't slide or anything like that, before they get the people out. And as they start putting body weight on the car was trying to slide. So they had to hurry up. So the lady who was okay, she was like, well, hey, why don't you go ahead and get her first? And they was like, no, let's get you out. So they got her to safety, and then they grabbed the instructor. And because the pin the car had moved the second time, and the pin fell out. So Henny had instructed, told the other girl, she was like, hey, find something to apply pressure to the wound. So she found some paper towel or whatever, and she held it to her until Bobby and them, got her out. And so they took her to the hospital. So then May comes over, and Athena and Bobby were role playing. And Athena had on Bobby's fire gear, and Bobby had on an apron and nothing else under it. And May was disgusted. She came over to pick up her mail, and so Athena was like, why didn't you call first, or why don't you get your mail changed to your house, to your own address? And she was like, we're grown, we're married, we have nothing to be ashamed of. And May she was disgusted. So she was like, see you later, next time call first. And so she leaves. So then the call, this Santa had tried to turn in this chip. So he had found a chip. And so the chip was, they ended up calling Athena because the chip was reported stolen like 30 years ago. And so it was a casino robbery. The guy rode in on a motorcycle, robbed the casino, rode out. So something didn't set well with Athena. So she was, so her and Bobby decided to reenact what was told. Okay, it was because they found the old video. However, the VCR tape shredded in the VCR. You guys know how the VCR tape used to shred, and once you pull it, you done broke the tape. There's nothing else you can do. And so it shredded, but they actually saw and figured out what happened. So they go to the casino and reenact. And each time, so then they discovered, okay, it must be, it was an inside job. Okay. So while this is going on, okay, so they kept reenacting, and discovered that, hey, the manager, she was a teller, she was a a person that worked at the table back then. So now she's the manager of the store. So when Bobby and Athena figured it out, of course it was too many years had passed to prosecute her. But Athena did alert the owners of the casino, and so they was gonna deal with her, and I'm sure she was gonna get fired or whatever. And she was like, "Why would you do that? I could have retired earlier," and blah blah blah. And so her and her boyfriend is the one who robbed the casino. He came in, she ran out the back door. No, she came in, but he ran out the back door with the money, and then it was crazy. So a 911 call comes in, and when the crew show up, Henry and them show up, there's an older black guy laying on the ground up by his car. And so he fell out. And so Henry started asking him questions. Hey, how are you? Do you know who you are? Asking him questions, what day it is, whatever, to see if he was, see if he can comprehend. And he looked at her tag, and he was like, "Wilson, I know her, Wilson." And he mentioned her mom, Antonio, and she was like, "That's my mom," and whatever. And so she asked him, "Well, you must know my dad." And so he said something. I didn't hear exactly what he said. And so Henny was looking crazy. So she goes, and she was telling her mom about this man. So she was telling her mom, and her mom was like, "Oh, I don't know who that is, playing crazy." And so his name is Clive. And so the mom was playing crazy or whatever. So Henny takes it a step further and invite her mom to this Italian restaurant and invite Clive. And so her mom came. Clive had bought her some flowers, and her mom was like, "You don't know when to stop, Henrietta. You don't know when to stop." And so you don't know when to leave things alone or whatever. And so she'd leave, storms out. Guys, her mom was played by Marsha Warfield. You guys remember her from Night Court? I mean, they picked the perfect person. Like, they both are wearing the bald head with the glasses. They picked the perfect person. And so Henrietta had went, and she was talking to her mom, and she was like, "What's going on?" And she said that Clive, she know him, and he, she was going to run away with him, but then she found out she was pregnant. And, he was like the love of her life or whatever. She was over her dad. She had been cheating with him, and she was, the dad wasn't treating her right, and she was going to leave until she found out she was pregnant. And so Henrietta was like, "Well, are you sure that my dad is my dad and not him?" And she was like, "Yeah, I know, I know that's your dad." And she was like, "I wanted to leave. I had my bags packed, and she didn't leave, and that was like 38 years ago or 40 years ago, whenever she said that was." And so she said, "Are you ashamed of me?" And she was like, "No, you didn't do anything for me to be ashamed of." She said, "I'm just glad that somebody loved you before I loved you." I thought that was so great, because she thought Henny would have been ashamed of her, of the fact that she was cheating on her dad, and she was unhappy, and she was about to run away with him. But Henny was like, "No, I'm not ashamed of you. I'm just glad somebody loved you before I loved you." It was very hard. It was very touching. So Kelly had been acting crazy, and the reason she finally came clean, told Buck that she was supposed to go out of town to see her dad, go to her dad's parole hearing. Her dad had killed her mom, her dad had said her mom killed herself, but then the state came back and said, "Hey, no," charged him with the murder, so he went to prison for life. So his parole hearing was coming up, and he wanted Kelly to come and testify on his behalf that he's a great dude, and his life has changed, and he's a better man, and whatever. So she goes, and she actually catch a bus and go, and she had told Buck she didn't want him to come or whatever, and she goes, and she get all the way there and couldn't do it. So on her trip back, when she got off the bus, Buck was there, and he was like, hey, I wanted to be here just in case you needed me or whatever. And she did at that moment, because her dad went off on her and told her, she is nothing. She'll never be nothing. She's no good. And I mean, he had a fit on her because she didn't stand up and testify for him. So she just said she couldn't do it. And so, the next time when May came over, she was like, hey, are you guys dressed or whatever? And they were sitting down playing gin. And so when she got her, she said, hey, she brought some mail back. She was like, hey, Mom, this is your mail. And she leaves. So Althea whip out these cuffs. So now the role play is about to start. So I want to say that was all of it. That was really all of it. Yeah. Because like I said, the meat and potatoes was them trying to figure out the casino robbery. Other than that, that was it. Sean's journey out.